Trip, in your life, you've had lots of amazing people that have taught you so much. But what is the best piece of advice that you've gotten from someone, either, family member or friend? What's something that really has grabbed your attention?
Don't let this go to your head, 100-tonner, but that's a great question. I'm not trying to take the easy way out, but I would say there are two things. Acceptance jumps out at me, but I happen to think that to some degree, acceptance of a bad situation, acceptance of an outcome that you wished went the other way. I think some of that is in your own head, in your makeup, but I also think some of it's God-given. Because I've had to pray for acceptance when something didn't go my way.
Yeah.
So that's worth mentioning. But then my primary answer to you would be the quote. I don't know who told me this quote, is about living in the moment. If you have a foot into yesterday and you have a foot into tomorrow, chances are, I'm going to clean it up here a little bit, chances are you're taking a leak all over yourself today. So a foot into yesterday, if you're thinking about yesterday, foot into tomorrow, if you're thinking about tomorrow, you have no chance at today. You're taking a leak all over yourself today. And that, I don't always do that well, but right now, this moment, you and me, it really should be the only moment that matters. I heard a meditation. I forget the guy's name. He's a German. I used to listen to it in the morning, to be total.
Yeah.
If you can be total in every moment, you have, I think, your best chance at happiness and performing to the best of your possible self.
That's so true.
What about you? Throwing it right back at you.
So I think for me, I've had, there's lots of things that stand out, but one thing in particular that I can think of is, going through different challenges in life have always been, something that has been tough to overcome some of them. And whether it's medical or education and, sitting down and when, you really think about, some of the medical things, and saying, why is this me? Why does this happen to me? Why did I have to go through this kind of thing? And, hearing the piece of advice from many people, but in particular, family that have said this to me is, challenges in your life will, define who you are, and they really will allow you to, learn more about yourself and really show you the true colors of what you have or, what you don't have and what you need the support from other people in your life to support you. So I think the best piece of advice is just, being able to understand my challenges and understand how I'm going to get through them and being able to persevere with that. So,
and that plays into acceptance. So I'm watching, JT, I'm watching last night with my mom. I'm watching season 3's off to a rough, poor start, but I like the show Yellowstone. Okay. And last night, episode 2 of season 3, Kevin Costner's talking to his son about losing his wife, which he had in the show years ago, and how could that be part of God's plan? Come on, this wonderful, good loving God. How could that be part of the plan? And I don't know if I've done a great job with this, but when it doesn't go according to Tripp's plan, not to refer to myself in the third person, that's a Seinfeld episode, but not to question it. And that, when I think about how much I miss my dad every day, he was a man of profound faith, but, a tremendous Catholic, but taught me too that anything in life that's worthwhile, you have to work at. And faith doesn't just come. You have to, you have to put one foot in front of the other. You got to show up and you got to
be there.
Yes. And I mean, I can't, tell you how much now that we've become great friends, like really great friends, and we're only going to become greater since we really hooked up and got going our friendship 2 years ago. You just remembered me another quote. I don't even know. Tell me this one. Are you walking in faith or are you walking in pity?
That's an awesome quote. And it, puts it in perspective of, what are you doing? And, back to that faith thing, that's, something that has been so important in my life. And, that's another piece of advice that I've gathered from family and have been taught from the family and stuff. And I've been blessed to have that exposure too. So
I wasn't with you in the rigors of everything you went, but your book is phenomenal on so many different fronts. But what jumps off the two things that jump off the page, okay, we've already established that family, as it should be to any of us, is number one. That's numero uno, okay? But once you get beyond that, each and every challenge that you faced, it was focus 100% on this current challenge. Enjoy the victory, but then if another one hits you right when you're open for things to turn, and then you're always walking in faith. That is, those two things jumped off the page, every page to me.
So, for me, challenges, we all have our challenges, but what question for you, when you have a challenge in your life that you're facing, what is it that motivates you or puts you to the point where you put your best foot forward to get there and to get through it?
Okay, so my initial reaction, partner, is, I had a challenge a couple of years ago that I'm going to tell you, I let myself feel sorry for myself for a stretch of time. I was walking in pity. I wasn't walking in faith. So just to tell on myself, because, what's that great poem, the Man in the Mirror? I don't, it's a famous one, because I know when I'm looking in the mirror, I had to come clean here and tell you, hey, I had a situation a couple of years ago, didn't go my way. I badly wanted it to go my way. And I felt sorry for myself for a stretch of time. Ultimately, I think somehow, some way, probably my upbringing, I'm competitive. I'm a pretty resilient cat, that eventually I said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, and, got back on the proverbial horse. Exactly.
And you knew you knew what you were missing or what you had to find and draw your reins back in and get aligned. And we all have those moments in life. And I can tell you, being in college and, different things in my life, that you have different chapters of your life that bring in different aspects that can be, harming to you and things, but it's always being able to find your way back on the path and getting your way back with either the people that you want to surround yourself with, or, making sure that, you're aligned in what your values you want them to be. So
the other thing, boy, you're getting me to think about so many important things that oftentimes I lose sight of. Another piece of advice, again, I don't know who gave it to me. If you're lost in yourself, and again, maybe not happy about a situation, feel you got wronged, why is this happening to me? Woe is me. The best thing you can do is be of service and do something for someone else. Because the more you're thinking about, or better yet, acting on behalf of helping other people, what does that do? Naturally, it takes you out of and away from self. So that's another great piece of advice. And I don't know, we're all self-centered to some degree. One of the reasons I think I made it as far as I did in hockey is being self-centered and selfish could be a good thing. Because when everybody was going to the high school parties, I'm digging in and trying to, become a college and dreams of being a pro hockey player.
Well, that's very true.
There are times that being self-centered, selfish can be a major detriment in terms of your psyche and, your overall personality too.
But I think that, with you being able to focus on what you could use it for, and being able to, drive yourself to become that professional hockey player took a ton of work. And you've said before, you wouldn't have been able to do it without your family and your parents. And that's true too. But in the end, you put in the work. You put in the work to make it a reality. And
I have one more for you. You got me. You got me thinking about so many good things. Okay, so there are three kinds of people. All right, A, people that always get it. B, people that learn a hard lesson and then they get it. And C, people that never get it. I'd love to be an A. I think of you as an A. I'm just focusing on trying to be a B, not a C. Okay, so if you're a B, not a C, or at some point it's looking like you're a C, chances are you've dug yourself some type of big time hole. Okay, so just imagine you've dug yourself this hole, and instead of having John Deere agricultural equipment to dig yourself out, you're handed one of the kid shovels that we had on the beach, when we were little kids.
Building a sandcastle.
Okay, so think about it. So you're in this huge hole. You have no John Deere equipment. You just have the little shovel. How do you dig yourself out? You just worry about that next right thing. Okay, so if you think about the whole big picture, how many times am I going to have to dig little by little, the little dirt, feel like I'm not even digging out at all?
Exactly.
If you again, focus on the moment, just that little amount of dirt that the kids shovel, at least you're digging out, you're not digging in. So that's another piece of advice that I got. If you walk 15 miles in the forest, you got to walk 15 out.
Well, that's great, Trip. Well, thank you so much. And for all of our listeners, you have to go check out Trip's podcast, which is Digging In with Trip. And I'm excited for you guys to hear that, as well as check out some of our earlier episodes.